Hey, what's going on, guys? Okay, so thank you for coming back to another broadcast over here at Ellis Network. As most of you guys know, that there is an attack that happened earlier today in New York City, Lower Manhattan, and it's being called a terrorist attack. Law enforcement's labeling it as that. The mayor, Blasio, he's calling it a terrorist attack as well, and even President Trump already tweeted about it, talking about connections to ISIS. Now what we do know is, one of the reasons why they are so quickly to get to a terrorist attack, and I agree with them, and for them to get to Islamic idea was the fact that he came out of this truck and was screaming Allah Akbar. So we're going to get into the story here in a little bit. I'm going to read two different articles. We'll take facts from one article and facts from the other, and maybe try to make a little bit of sense of this. But first, I do want to say that this whole scenario, they're saying that it's New York's deadliest terrorist attack since 9/11. But to use a vehicle as a weapon, this has been known as a strategic advantage for Islamic terrorists. And I'm not calling it quite ISIS. It could be Al-Qaeda or the other multiple Muslim terrorist organizations that's over there. There's a bunch of different ones. But everyone else is leaning towards ISIS. But it's the same scenario that I've seen last year. There was a terrorist attack that happened over in, I can't remember exactly where it was. It was either France or Germany. This town was having a festival, and it was about 10 o'clock at night, and this guy ran his white van right through a crowd of people, killed a couple people, injuring a lot of people, and just causing havoc. And whenever I'm looking at the pictures of this scene and some of the video clips, it just automatically takes me back to that. So we've seen this in the playbook before, and that was a attack that ISIS has claimed. I'm pretty sure I made a video about it. I honestly can't remember if I did or not, but I'll go back in history and see if I can find it for you guys, if for the ones of you guys that don't believe me. But the articles that I'm going to post in the links in the description for you guys is, one's from CBS, the other one is from, I believe, The Telegraph. The Telegraph. CBS News, this article came out about 45 minutes ago. Now, I said, I talked to a couple people and they were talking to me about it, and I made one video earlier talking about just breaking it, bringing it out, and I really wanted to wait. One, I was going trick-or-treating with my kids. Two, I really wanted to wait to make a video on this because it was so new. So much information was being pushed out, and so much misinformation was being pushed out as well. I didn't want to have to make, multiple videos to go back and correct, stuff that should have just never been said. And this is a perfect example of how things can easily get twisted. The stories and the truth can easily get twisted between social media. When the story first came out, they're saying that he ran a couple people over, and then turned around and there was gunshots fired. A couple people were shot and ran over. There was just so much going on. But now it's being said that he had a pellet gun and a paintball gun. So I'm glad I didn't go out and confirm and said, hey, he's shooting people, because then I'd have to come back out, 20 minutes later and make another updated video. It's going on 8 o'clock at night. I'm pretty sure the investigations, it's going to go ongoing, but information's going to slow down a little bit throughout the night. It already happened. It's a shame that it happened. But let's go ahead and hop into this article a little bit and find out what we know as of right now. I'm not going to read the whole article. I'm just going to skim through them and talk about the facts a little bit. But A man deliberately drove a rented truck into a busy bicycle path near the World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan, killing 8 people and seriously injuring 11 others. then emerged from the vehicle screaming and brandishing imitation firearms before he was shot by police. The suspect was wounded and he was taken into custody. So he's not dead. Okay, he's in custody. I'm pretty sure he's at the hospital getting, worked on or whatnot, but he's definitely in custody. Once they can actually get him into interrogation and drill him, we're not really going to know what the motive was. As of right now, we're speculating. We're speculating that he was radicalized Muslim, Islamic, ISIS. That's what we're speculating. But the man is alive, so let's give it a little bit of time until they interrogate and wait for the information to come out. This was an act of terrorism, and particularly cowardly act of terror amid the innocent civilians. And that's what Bill de Blasio said, the mayor. He called it a very painful death or painful day in the city. I'm sorry, guys. I'm tired. Today there was a loss of innocent life in Lower Manhattan. New York Police Department Commissioner James O'Neill said Tuesday at a press conference, and it's really sad, guys. I mean, it's Halloween, and with all the news that's coming out, it's messed up. Sources identified the suspect as Sayfullo Habilovic Sapiev. Again, Middle Eastern name. I've said that these names are very hard to pronounce, and I'm not going to be able to do it right the first time, so forgive me. Law enforcement sources identified the suspect to CBS News as Sayfullo Habilovic Sapiev, a 29-year-old truck driver who has lived in Tampa Bay, Florida, and New Jersey. He came to the U.S. in 2010 from Uzbekistan. I don't even know where that's at. Sources tell CBS News senior investigator producer Pat Milton the suspect yelled Allah Akbar Arabic for God is great when he exited the truck. So, normally we know ISIS, they would have already came out and taken claim for the attack. It only takes roughly about an hour, 2 hours at the most before we hear something from ISIS. Nothing's being stated that ISIS has stood up and taken claim for it. I watched a video today. I think it was on Al Jazeera, or maybe it was BBC, where Al Qaeda inside of Afghanistan was actually making a message out, talking about they're really ready to drive the U.S. forces out of their land. Again, not ISIS, that's Al Qaeda. Now we know that ISIS was born out of Al Qaeda, but they're still two separate entities as well. So, this guy's 29 years old. He came here in 2010. Doesn't state if he was here legally or a work visa, or if he was properly vetted, if he was good when he got here and then went and got radicalized, or was he already radicalized when he came here. If he was already radicalized when he came here, this is why we need a better vetting system to not allow this kind of stuff to happen. If he got radicalized after the fact that he came out, then counterterrorism organizations fucking up. You guys should be on top of this. Again, it's not my job. I really don't know how hard you guys have it. I'm just speculating. The incident occurred at West Street and Chambers Street at 3:05 p.m. right around schools. And after he ran these people over off the trail, he went right into a school bus. There was a couple schools within the area. Parents were picking their children up. At first there was a lot of speculation. Oh, it's Halloween. Maybe this is just a display. And then reality sunk in. Was like, this isn't fake. So this is from CBS. That's the facts that's being said here. Let's go ahead and hop into this other one real quick. There's one thing in this article that I wanted to bring out to you guys that they're saying. And this is from Telegraph. This was posted roughly about 20 minutes ago. And they're basically saying, the same thing that CBS was just saying, but they're saying how close he was to the World Trade Center. He then jumped out of the truck, wielding what turned out to be a pellet gun and a paintball gun. He was chased and shot in the stomach by police officers, but survived and was arrested. So, again, you guys remember when the story was just breaking? People were dying from being ran over and shot because they heard gunshots. And it was already being put out there that he was shooting people. He then jumped out of the truck loading. I already read that. Unconfirmed U.S. media reports named him as Sapyov. So that's unconfirmed as of right now. President Donald Trump wrote on Twitter, "Looks like another attack by a very sick and deranged person." Law enforcement is following this closely. And then they got a screenshot of President Trump's tweet, his tweet that he made on Twitter. And you guys know, we're not going to go there. The U.S. President added, "We must not allow ISIS to return or enter our country after defeating them in the Middle East and elsewhere. Enough." That's what his Twitter said. A White House official told Mr. Trump had been fully briefed in his Chief of Staff, John Kelly, and was being continually updated. Now, John Kelly's also being scrutinized for his comments about Civil War. You can look that up. Let's see. Prime Minister Theresa May, for the ones of you guys that don't know who she is, she's over there in Germany. She's basically the president of Germany over there. They call them prime ministers. She said she was appalled by this cowardly attack. "My thoughts are with all the affected. Together we will defeat the evil of terrorism." And she's in Germany. So, together, Germany, United States, joint operations worldwide. So they think that they can destroy this. Terrorism, that's a very deep, dark ideology. You're not just going out and killing people. You got to go out and, get rid of the idea of it, the ideology. And good luck trying to do that. If we figured out how to change ideology, New World Order would have done already taken over a long time ago. "We know this action was intended to break our spirit. We have been tested before as a city, very near the site of today's attack. We will respond as we always do. We will be undeterred." Bellagio, his other statement that he made on this terrorist attack. The suspect has rented a pickup truck from the Home Depot hardware shop, and he drove down the bike path for 20 street blocks, running down cyclists before hitting the school bus. 2 children on the bus were among 11 people injured in the attack. Belgium said that one of its nationals was among the people killed. Witnesses said that they initially thought the attack was a Halloween prank. A man who was riding in a taxi along the West Side Highway near Chambers Street in Lower Manhattan said he's seen a few people on the ground. Several people on the ground. And he was horrified. This is crazy. Crazy. Terrorists, and again, whether or not it was Islamic or not, terrorism is terrorism. You don't have to be labeled as, a Muslim or, some kind of street gang or anything like that. Just a human being causing terror to another human being, whether or not you're conflicting pain on them or you're attacking them, their ideology, sort of like what Antifa's doing. They're going to attack every ideology that does not agree with them. That's a terrorist mindset. So, again, guys, I'm going to post the links in the article. You guys can read them for yourselves, all in its entirety. I just skimmed through, brought you guys the facts of what's being brought out, the latest. This is what we know right now. I'm going to wait off until tomorrow. Wake up in the morning, look more into this, see if anything developed overnight. But like I said, guys, it's over here on the East Coast. It's 8:30 on the dot. And I'm pretty sure not a whole lot more information is going to be coming out. If there's going to be updated news sources about it, it's pretty much going to be a repeat of what we see now. So, again, guys, stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button if you guys enjoyed this video. The bell notification lets you guys know that sends you a notification every time a new video uploads, so you guys can be right there when I'm bringing it. share my videos, please, if you guys don't mind. That would be really cool. So, alright guys, later.